Eating disorders are about more than just food. Out of all mental illnesses, eating disorders have the highest mortality rate. Eating disorders affect about 9% of the US population with an average of 10,200 deaths annually. The Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, DSM-5, has expanded feeding and eating disorders into 6 categories, each with their own similarities and differences, the most common being bulimia and anorexia nervosa, AN. Bulimia is often characterized by irregular or skipped meals, food restriction, and an overvaluation of body image, often accompanied by regular binge eating and purging sessions. 1% of women and 0.1% of men are bulimic at any given time, with about 43% receiving treatment. AN can be characterized by severe restrictive eating behaviors and compulsive exercise, often due to distorted body image. Anorexia affects 0.3 to 0.4% of women and 0.1% of men, and only about a third will receive treatment.
Other mental disorders, perfectionism, weight stigma, and bullying can also be attributed to onset. Race and ethnicity play a role in disparities of eating disorders. Black teenagers are 50% more likely to present symptoms relating to eating disorders. Hispanics are more likely to suffer from bulimia, and Asian American college students report more body dissatisfaction and negative attitudes towards obesity. It is important to note that all these symptoms need not be present, nor will they be the same for all individuals. Eating disorders are neither fully physical or mental, and are rather a combination of varying capacities. Symptoms may express themselves outwardly through severe weight loss and pallor, although this is not always the case. Mentally, symptoms can include anxiety, depression, guilt, and rumination.
In regard to the measures taken for eating disorders, organizations advocating this awareness are attempting to introduce the Federal Response to Eliminating Eating Disorders Act, which would increase support for finances for research, education, and other attempts of prevention. This act would also provide treatment coverages and medical benefit coverages that will better allow access for such treatments. Another measure involves administering online self-report surveys, which determines the prioritization of which types of policy actions that are needed in order to address this overall problem. Speaking in a more specific view, states across America have their own laws and policies to spread awareness, like requiring preventative measures and disorder-detecting methods in schools in Virginia, and making it a misdemeanor in sports for coaches in California to administer laxatives to youth athletes for the intention to lose weight.
Despite policy-level advances, there are still health inequities that exist when it comes to medical care. Eating disorders' reputation as the skinny female illness means that by POC, larger-bodied people and men are significantly less likely to be diagnosed and receive treatment by primary care providers. In reality, less than 6% of people with eating disorders are medically diagnosed as underweight, and in fact, healthcare professionals recognize it as a psychological struggle as much as it is a physical one. According to the National Eating Disorders Association, serious eating disorders form between the ages of 18 and 21, affecting between 10 and 20% of women and 4 to 10% of men in college, with rates rising. To find out more information about eating disorders and their treatment on our own UC San Diego campus, you can visit eatingdisorders.ucsd.edu, the UC San Diego Eating Disorders Center.